Welcome, everybody. It's Jonathan Cisneros here with ESO Realty Incorporated. I am blessed to be in the presence of Miss Mari Cardona, one of our agents here. Tons of experience, such a intelligent woman, a woman with her heart in real estate. And like I said, we're in for a treat today to find out what Mari has to talk about. So, Mari, first of all, of course, say hello to everybody, but let us know a little bit about yourself.
Hi, well, my name is Mari Cardona, and been doing this for probably about 15 years. Decided to get into the industry when the market crashed back in 2008. Was doing a little bit of marketing with Time Warner, was an account executive, and dealt with business to business and did a lot of commercials and things of that nature for businesses. And then again, my husband needed my help and helped him with paperwork. And he said, just get your real estate license and help me out while I do the loans. And voila, here I am.
Yeah, that's a lot to wrap up that quick.
Yeah.
But you saw a lot in the market. You saw a lot. Mm-hmm. You've been through a lot of different markets.
Yes.
Something I can't say. Something that I think is I think you can't put a price on that kind of experience that you have.
Yeah, it was crazy. Mm-hmm. It was very, very difficult, and it sort of reminds me a little bit of what's happening right now with the market. It's obviously a little bit slower, but
talk about it.
Back then, the market crashed. There was just a lot of learning curves, mm-hmm. A lot of foreclosures, mm-hmm. a lot of REOs,
short sales.
Mm-hmm. And it was different going mm-hmm. in. Mm-hmm. Back then we had our little keys, and you'd go in and show destroyed properties, if you will. A lot mm-hmm. of them were destroyed, but there was a lot of inventory back then. So
something we can't say right now.
We can't say now.
We can't say that right
absolutely.
now. Yeah. As of today, March, 27th of mm-hmm. 2024, inventory is tight.
It is.
It is tight. We're getting again close to the worst where we were at as of a year and a half ago when it was really bad.
Yes.
Even worse than now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've been well versed in quite a bit, not only on the real estate side and marketing side, business. What would be, and of course your husband is a lender.
Correct.
And shout out to Vince if you're watching.
Shout out to my hubby.
Yep.
He's one of the best lenders, I feel. There's a lot of great lenders out there, but he's very, very knowledgeable. So shout out to my husband.
Oh yeah. I've learned a lot from Vince.
Yes.
I really have. He is a wealth of knowledge, and I think you having him on your team, the chance of you losing damn near disappear. Vince is always in your court and hitting home runs.
Yeah.
What would you say may be causing right now these interest rates that are not causing the interest rates to be high? Excuse me. What do you think is causing such a tight inventory?
I think people are afraid mm-hmm. of selling, because they don't have anywhere to go, especially mm-hmm. if they purchase their home at a lower amount. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, with the interest rates being, at a higher level now, I feel that for them to be able to purchase or to upgrade, if they're not making that income that it takes for them to have that higher mortgage, mm-hmm. The afraid factor for mm-hmm. them is there. So I guess it's up to us to educate them and letting them know how they can go about, because obviously everybody's different.
Yep.
And what might work for one person might not work for another family. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's just up to us within our industry to educate them and seeing if it's something that is beneficial to them mm-hmm. and go from there. But I think it's mostly fear.
Yeah. I agree. I think right now sellers are starting to see the writing on the wall. Interest mm-hmm. rates aren't going to be coming down mm-hmm. anytime soon. You might have your dips here and there, but it's going to come to a point, I think sellers will have to start bringing down those listed prices. And it's already started to happen.
Yes, it started to happen already.
You know, we can see our charts, we see our graphs, we see what the market is entailing. We look at properties every day.
Correct.
We can see what things are listing for. Right now, if a seller were to tell you, Marty, I want to sell my house, but I'm afraid I'm not going to get what I could get, 2 years ago, what would you tell someone like that?
Prices are still going up a little bit, I think, and they fluctuate. It just depends on your home. I think, again, every home is different. If you've maintained your home, and you can put a little work into it and maintained it.
What kind of work?
You look into like maybe landscaping, make sure you're maintaining your yard, make sure that you're keeping up with the painting. Little paint goes a long way. Obviously keep neutral colors, because you want to make sure that you get buyers that you never know their taste, so you just want to keep neutral colors.
Is there something wrong with my blue wall here?
No,
I'm just playing with you, buddy. Yeah,
no,
you make a good point.
Wrong, but I mean, just a lot of some trends that may be happening. Yes, they're trends.
Yeah.
Some people might not go for that, but always keep it neutral. Again, your yard work. If there's any fixes that you need to make to your home, toilets that are broken, things of that nature.
Yep.
Bathrooms, flooring, if you can invest a little in some updated flooring, as far as making sure that it's uniform. So that you don't have flooring that's different flooring in each room.
Yeah.
You
don't have the kids saying, let's go to the tile room. Let's go to the laminate.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then carpets, like dirty carpets, smelly carpets, pets, if you have any of that, make sure you clean them. If you can't afford to replace the flooring, make sure that you shampoo that, get rid of any old furniture, try to declutter.
Light fixtures, if I may.
Light fixtures.
It doesn't have to be some beautiful $1,000 chandelier. Just little bit of
things. Just those little touches that you do to declutter your home, and just showcase what it could be. Because obviously you have your home and you live in your home and you furnish it the way you want, but maybe try to showcase what it would be in general, like a very generic way of putting your furniture, so that buyers, as they come in, they could see what could be possible in your home.
It's true.
Because it's no longer going to be your home. You're trying to sell it and trying to maximize your profit.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Even in just one example for showings, when a buyer comes in, what do we tell a seller? Depersonalize.
Correct.
You want to put them in that house and imagine the house, not imagine who lives in that house now.
Correct. And you want to showcase, if you have, your walk-in pantries, if you have all the, make sure that that's decluttered, that it looks nice. If you have a spa,
if you got brand new windows, don't keep the curtains closed. Keep them open.
The light, out, especially the south-facing windows.
Yep.
That's where you're going to get your most light. So you definitely want to keep those open and make all the light come in, so that it doesn't look so dark and gloomy.
Yeah. And then key selling points too. If you got a property with a third car garage,
correct,
but the third car garage door doesn't work, that's a selling point.
Correct.
But it's not working.
It's not working. Fix it.
An RV gate for RV access that doesn't open.
Correct.
Or is all rusted and should use a nice paint job. Pay someone to get out there, or do it on a weekend.
Squeaky doors. Squeaky doors.
Yes.
WD-40. Put a little bit of that.
It's true.
It's the smallest thing.
It doesn't sound like much, but if you were to picture walking in a house,
correct,
when it's getting dark, and it's just you and your buyer in a big old house, and someone opens a creaking door, it's a little off-putting as to
correct.
Was that a ghost, a spirit?
Correct. And you'd be surprised, especially if you have kids. A little degreaser goes a long way, and a rag. You could go to the 99-cent store and purchase that, and
clean up those baseboards.
Clean up those baseboards. Clean up just clean up the doors. Clean up the walls. all the entryways, the light switches,
Yeah.
all of those little things, you might not even have to paint.
Mhm.
You'd be surprised how, little degreaser helps.
Yep. Yep. It's true. She's speaking the truth.
Just clean.
That's
clean
the
up.
cheat code.
Just a little cleanup.
Yep.
Just make sure that your home is clean and ready for showings.
I love it. I love it. Let's talk about marketing for a seller,
Mm-hmm.
right? If what would you do to make a seller's home stand out in today's market to get it sold for the highest, the quickest, and the best offer?
I think that, making sure that you have a good photographer.
Okay.
I mean, you obviously want to stay true to the home and the pictures and not catfish people.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to do that. But you want to definitely showcase everything that the home features, all those special features that they have. They have an island of its, open concept. Again, if they have a walk-in pantry, all those special things that make their home stand out. Get some great pictures of that. I guess outside, have also just bird viewpoint of the home. And then just make sure that we're just putting it out there, social media, putting it on YouTube, putting it on just different places, and then just sending out emails too to everybody who you might know that might be interested in purchasing, and saying, hey, I listed this property. This is, where we're at with it. And, you guys interested or know anybody who might be interested? Going around the neighborhood and letting the neighbors know that the home is for sale, and they might have family members that might want to move in next to them, and you might get a buyer that way too.
Absolutely.
So those are all different ways of marketing properties when we list them.
I love it. And I would say those things, if you're not checking off everything of what you just said, your agent's not doing right by you.
Correct.
They're really not.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much we could do to market properties, and making sure that we're getting, like I said, good pictures. But again, I mean, it's teamwork. We're here to help you. And ultimately, like, we also need, their help in making sure that the property stays clean once it's clean,
This is true. Because it's a team effort, like you said.
It's a team effort. You don't want to like clean it once and then, a week later it's cluttered again, or you have a mess in the kitchen. You always want to make sure that everything's tidy until, and keep it maintained even up until we close.
It's true. It's true, because you're working 100%, seller's working 100%. You're meeting the same goal. You're working towards the same goal.
And we're working together as a team.
Yep.
We're here to assist.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it is. So I'd like to get your opinion on something. Staging. So we see right now virtual staging, and I know we see some that are just terrible. And we see some good virtual staging, but we also see actual stagers coming out and putting in real furniture and doing things like that. What's your thought on that?
I think staging is great. I think staging is great. But I also think that for some agents and for some sellers, if they already have furniture in there, it's really hard for them to, I mean, unless the property is empty. But if they already have furniture in there, we just have to try to maximize what they already have, and try to stage it with what they currently have, and get rid of what might not be working. And then if we got to bring in a piece or two, that's fine if the seller's okay with it. I'm not opposed to staging. I think that it's good, but I also think virtual, again,
it's a big toss up.
It's a big toss up only because I've seen some virtual staging where then, again, I represent buyers and sellers. And so sometimes I'll go into a property and it's like, yeah, it doesn't look like that, because they stage it to the extreme.
Not only that, they may even contort, I think, the aspect ratio of that photo
Correct.
to fit in the furniture they want to fit in. So then a buyer that we're showing says, oh, I thought that looked like a queen to me. That's why I thought this room would be big enough. They get there
and then they're disappointed.
Yeah.
And then you end up not being able to sell.
So maybe even a detriment if it's too.
Again, if you're catfishing.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're really trying to catfish.
But again, I think there's a balance. And I think that's where us as professionals, we need to be able to know what's going to look okay and not look okay and go from there and, try to advise the client on what would work and what would not work when it comes to staging.
You list a home for sale and you get an offer and you get another offer and now you got 3 offers. What is it you do to go ahead and present to that seller their best option? Take me through that. If you got 3 offers, they all have different loans and they're all offering close to the same. Maybe one's asking for closing costs, one isn't, but they came in lower. And maybe one is really low, but they have no contingencies. Let's maybe say that. Or whatever maybe idea or however example you want to use. But if you were to present it to a seller to help a seller better make that decision, what would you do?
Well, first, we got to dissect each offer, obviously. We have to look at the DU approval is very, very important. We want to see their debt to income ratios. We want to see if they have money, like their proof of funds. We want to see all of that good stuff. So just because they offer more doesn't necessarily make it the best offer. It's what's going to close. So our job is to make sure that we present that accordingly and saying, here are A, B, and C offers. This offer, they're all the same, like you were saying. This one, the debt to income ratios are higher than this person's. They're asking for closing, but ultimately, if you want to present net sheets, that's something that we would do as well, is present net sheets, and this is your bottom line, and showing them what their bottom line will be monetarily. And then, but also what has the best, which one is going to close and is going to not have as many issues as the other one. And then, have them decide what's going to work best for them. Because I've had sellers that don't mind, even though I've had an offer where they're not asking for closing, but then some do ask for closing, but their credit score is higher, their debt to income ratios are lower, their chances of closing are a lot greater. They don't mind helping that buyer out with closing costs because they know that they're going to be in a better position. The seller might have a deadline where they have to move quicker, right? And they don't have to sit on the property. So everybody's different, but there's certain situations and it's up to us to present each offer and what the pros and cons are of each offer and then present that net sheet. So that they can get an idea and then they can make an educated decision on what route they want to go.
Makes total sense, because giving them the highest offer without doing any type of legwork to verify the approvability, the eligibility, the dependability of that buyer.
Correct.
That's not the offer to take sometimes, as you're saying.
Yes.
Highest number ain't everything.
No, it's not. And then again, you got to take everything into account, and it's our job to educate them so that they can make more of an educated decision as far as the selling of their home.
Correct. And that's what we're there for. We're there to provide some form of counsel towards that.
Correct.
Fundamentally, it's up to their decision, but we do our best to make sure they make the best one.
Correct. And make sure we're presenting all offers and, again, explaining the pros and cons of each offer and showing them that net sheet, showing them what everything is in writing so that they can understand and, again, can make an educated decision.
Yeah, that's great stuff. That's great stuff. Because a lot of people glaze over that. I think that's a question to actually ask an agent. Should you be interviewing them? what is it you do to vet offers that come across our way?
Correct.
You know.
And are you knowledgeable within the DU approval
Mhm.
to know what's in there and what to look for?
Mhm.
Because sometimes the DU approval, it says it on there just because you have a DU approval and it says approved and eligible, or it says you have to look at all of those things. And if an agent's not knowledgeable when it comes to reading a DU approval, they're just going to present the offers and say this is this and that's that, and which one do you want to take?
Yep.
And that's not, you got to know how to read that DU approval.
And that DU approval, when we bring that up, what is that? The desktop underwriter findings,
correct.
Right?
Desktop underwriter findings.
And when we get that, that's what is well above a pre-approval letter.
Correct.
Right? Because to be honest with you and with everyone watching, any 12-year-old right now can type that up. The pre-approval letter is a one-page thing that you can literally copy and paste someone's NMLS number and fraudulently throw it on there, and you think this is a bona fide pre-approval letter.
Correct.
And it's not.
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing up the DU approval letter, because an agent that doesn't know how to read that, I think there's a lot of questions to be raised in that.
Yes, and not only that, I mean, again, it could say eligible or not eligible, but if you don't know, and
we're not MLOs. We don't hold an MLS number. We're not lenders.
Correct.
But when you read the DU findings, it tells you blatantly, did the lender take out a monthly car debt to get them that approval? You're going to base the entire contract of this purchase on the home if the buyer sells their car?
Correct.
Having to take away a debt, those are those little things in the background that you're speaking of that you have to read.
Yes. And not only that, I mean, when we're representing a seller, there's a lot that the seller might not know that they have to sort of, in the process of selling their home, if they've had some insurance claims, they wouldn't know, I didn't know I had to tell you that. Yep. It's our job to ask them those right questions. Hey, do you have a PACE, program loan or whatever?
Did you upgrade?
We don't, do you have solar? Do you have those are all questions we have to ask as listing agents, so that when we list the property, there are no surprises that come up, because then, and having a great team behind you, like you said, even with the DU, reading the DU, if you work with a great team, you work with a great lender, you work with a great escrow company, a great title rep, your A team, you know that anything comes up, we're all there to work together for the sale of that property, and to make sure that we assist the seller in making sure there aren't any hiccups, and trying to be proactive so that there aren't any hiccups.
It's true. It's true. I mean, at the end of the day, goal is get the house sold.
Correct.
Because we don't make a dime until that house sells.
Correct.
All the marketing, all the photography, all the time, everything. That's all an investment on our end as well.
That is correct. That is correct.
So, let me see here. Something a lot of us don't ever talk about. That's why I keep referring here. Managing emotions that a seller may have for their home. Because a lot of homeowners have been there for a very long time, maybe raised children. Maybe it was their first home, and they still see it as home, but they're not looking at it as a house now because they're trying to go to the next step. What would you maybe say you could help a seller with in regards to those emotions, or to face them, or how to think about it differently?
Really, I mean, I think that, again, this is where our expertise comes in, is knowing that, yes, acknowledging the fact that, yes, they're going to be emotional. However, what is their goal and objective ultimately? And really asking the right questions to the seller and their reasoning behind selling, and reiterating that, and what we can do to help them accomplish their goals and objectives. Because yes, they could be emotional, but ultimately, again, if you ask the right questions, like why do you suppose you're as emotional? Do you think that that's going to like benefit you because all this is what you're trying to do is accomplish in getting this amount of money so that you can then move on so that you can retire.
Yep.
Right. And this is what we're trying to accomplish. So let's do this step by step in walking them through that, I think, so that it'll be a little bit less painful, maybe.
That was perfectly said, Mari. That was
You know.
perfectly said, you guys. It really was.
Yeah, I think it's very it's important that we ask the right questions and we get to the root of
Yep.
why they're so emotional, and then having them again, if we're asking the right questions, then we have the pros and cons, and then we could show them what the benefit is.
Yeah.
And what it's not. Yeah.
Anything I add other than that's just repeat or something else. That was perfectly said. It's true. Maintaining those goals. It's so true. Thank you. That was great. Let's jump to this one, a fun one. Homeowners get a little scared. Inspections.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them, because we're in this field every day. We understand the differences and the nuances between home inspector, appraisal, termite inspector, section 1, section 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are some things you could let a seller know to better advise them as to what to fix, maybe what not to fix? What would maybe for the time being, right? Maybe let's wait because maybe there's some things that may just be aesthetic, appearance only.
Correct.
So regarding some type possible repairs, maybe some things that aren't working in the home, what would be your maybe couple points here that you can give that better help a seller understand what to be afraid of and what not to be afraid of?
Correct. Well, again, I think it's asking the right questions when we're about to list the property in the beginning. I feel that when we are going to list a property and we start asking the seller first what their motivation is on why they want to sell. Are they relocating to another state? How urgent is it, or how quickly do they have to move and be out of that property? All of those are going to come into play because because if you're in a hurry, or if you know that as a seller, you know if you've maintained your property throughout the years, or if you haven't.
Or if you haven't, yes.
You really do know. You really know, hey, have you kept it up?
Yeah.
Or have you not? So you know if there's something wrong with your house or if there isn't. It's asking, again, the right questions and trying to get a list of, hey, what is wrong and us as agents, we know what home inspectors are looking for. And if the seller is going to be looking into accepting an offer, for instance, an FHA offer, they know that we know as agents that there's certain things that they're gonna have to do that are mandated, right? But if they're like, yeah, we don't care, and it's okay if our home stays on the market longer, we just want to accept conventional loans, then there's certain things they really don't have to fix. Or if they don't have the money to fix, then hey, we can only accept these kind of loans. But if you're accepting FHA loans and you got to be out within a month, we obviously need as many options of different buyers, right, that we can get. The wood, showing wood, that kind of stuff isn't gonna, you have to fix that.
Yeah, exposed fascia, not painted.
Yes, those little things. It's something that's small.
But it could lead to termites.
But it could lead to termites,
or dry rot,
correct,
fungus.
Correct. So, but also just giving them a list of what the possibilities could be and letting them know this could be, these could be certain things that can be an issue. And if they are an issue, are you willing to fix them? Are you not willing to fix them? How do you want to go about it? Do you want to credit if they request repairs? Do you not want to credit?
Setting expectations from the very beginning.
And just, again, asking those questions so that we know, so that if it does pop up, in the home inspections or the termite and things like that.
Mhm.
Normally, if they are concerned about like termites and things like that, I would recommend termite inspections are very inexpensive.
They are.
They're very inexpensive. And so, okay, if that's a concern, let's conduct, an inspection.
Mhm.
That way, ahead of time.
Yeah.
And if, you have it already, and if there is something that needs to be repaired, at least right?
Yeah.
If it's really something that is concerning. But if they're not really that concerned, then just wait and see if the buyer,
May ask.
may ask or may
Mhm.
not ask,
Mhm.
So it's just a matter of,
Yeah.
of setting that expectation for them and
Yeah.
what to expect and educating them
Mhm.
on, what we're going to do
Correct.
to fix the problem
Correct. And we still
and to
disclose,
find solution. Correct.
right? We still disclose what may not be working, whatever
Correct.
the owner knows may not be working.
Correct.
So it's not like you're hiding
Correct.
anything.
And it's
just,
always disclose. No
Amen.
matter what,
Yeah.
disclose. I mean, I know it's easier, and some people just paint over that. No, if you know something's wrong, you don't want to get sued in the future, just disclose it. Disclose it, because for all you know, the buyer might be okay with that. They might be a
Yep.
drywall repair guy. They might be a whatever it may be. They might be a plumber. They might be willing to fix that on their own and
Mhm.
might be okay with purchasing the property
Mhm.
that way. So it's always better to disclose and be upfront and honest.
Got it. I love that. I love that. That was great advice.
Mhm.
That really was, Mari. Is there anything else you would like to tell first time home sellers? It's their first time going at it. They really don't know what, approach to take yet. What's one more thing, if you have anything right now, because you've given so much already, that you may, have on mind right now?
My recommendation is this, and I always tell the sellers, because again, when you're representing a seller, it's different than when you're representing a buyer.
Mhm.
But if you're selling your property, think of it this way. What is it that you're going to look for as a buyer? Because obviously, if you're selling your property, you're going to be looking to purchase elsewhere or to purchase another property of your own.
Mhm.
As a buyer, what would you want when you're looking for a home? How would you want that home to be? So try to have that home be that. Go around your house, and again, if you've maintained your home or not. But again, all the little things. Start before you even start looking into selling. Start going around and doing all these little minor things that, hey, if you have weeds all over the yard, mow your weeds.
Yeah.
Make sure you clean up your yard. Make sure that you get rid of any junk,
Mhm.
any trash, anything that you think is not gonna, look good.
Yep.
Think of like what you're gonna want as a buyer. Try
Is
to
that in
prepare,
your house?
prepare your home for that as well.
Mhm.
And wear that hat so that way you could start seeing like, if I was a buyer, would I,
Yep. Yep.
would this be okay with it if I was to come in looking at my home?
Mhm.
You're gonna know. And so those are little things. And if you always have a question, always ask your agent, but start getting ready by fixing those little things, fixing those little things, but mostly cleaning up your property. I think
Yeah.
that's the main thing.
Okay.
That's the first thing, is clean up your property, clean up your house, declutter.
Got it. I love it. Well, with that, that was a lot of info. It's not going to be the only time you guys see Mari. We will see Mari in the future again.
Yeah,
There will be
thank
more
you.
series to these. I just want to say thank you for coming, Mari.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And how can people reach you?
Well, I'm on Instagram
Okay.
under Dream Keys with a Z, and they can reach me here through the website at ESO
Mhm.
Realty,
Mhm.
and Facebook, social media,
Okay.
or my phone number.
Are you under Mari Cardona or Maria Cardona on social on Facebook?
On Facebook, I believe I'm under Mari Cardona.
Okay.
I'm under Mari Cardona.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Mari, for coming.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.